context, doing the same stuff with their strengths do apply, but the consequences are radically different. Like if a living weapon character is told to go and assassinate a bunch of people, but then they accidentally end up killing a child, this can shift their relationship with their own strengths and weaknesses and skills. It can alter their relationship to violence and foreshadow their turn to good, which is very common for these types of characters. But I think the other thing that attracts us to these types of characters is that they inherently drag a lot of complication and tension into the plot, simply by being so powerful in and of themselves. David naturally gets caught up in this conflict because he uses this Sandevistan, this weapon which everyone wants, this exoskeleton, so everyone is after him. Lynn immediately rockets up through this underworld chain of command by becoming so deadly, and in fact the Yeshaman ends up being kind of like drawn to her for this reason. Violet feels like a social time bomb waiting to go off. The extremes of these characters naturally draw interest to them. I take a very pragmatic approach to writing. I like to understand it technically. That's what these videos are about. But you might not know that I also write professionally. I have been for years on the side. I've written for fantasy games, I've published fiction professionally, and that's all great, but I wanted to do something bigger, and so I did. We're calling it Labyrinth. Imagine a world where art is magic, where magic comes from this gargantuan jellyfish in the sky. This is the world of my epic fantasy story, and you can read it in Labyrinth. Except, what's even cooler is it's not just me. We brought together some of the biggest names in epic fantasy.
I'm starting to remember why I stopped watching Hello Future Me.
Yeah, the Christopher Paolini we all grew up reading. A collection of stories themed all around
what is a bloody moon day? Please elaborate, game.
It's only on Kickstarter for this month at the link below. If you're late to this video, time is running out. There is a reason Labyrinth is special. We're calling this Labyrinth Volume 0 because we want Labyrinth to be something we can do a game, to create a magazine, a journal you can submit to, you can be published with, paid at professional rates, nominated for awards. Who knows? I love elevating other writers and artists who deserve to be seen more. That's what I do in my job, and while the initial volumes will be by invitation, this is something we can do if we pull this off on Kickstarter. I want HFM to be a place we don't just go to learn, but to create. We've blown past 2,000 backers already in under a week, but to make this happen, we need to aim higher. I would love to hit 3,000 backers. It's ambitious, I know, but if just 1% of the people watching this video back it, we will do that. Not to mention, more backers means a better book. Labyrinth is designed inside and out by Wraithmark, who specialize in these gorgeous deluxe books, so it comes with these beautiful illustrations like this one from Erica Williams. I mean, just look at this gorgeous cover art by Andrew Thompson. And if we hit our stretch goals, I'll be able to bring on my favorite artist of all time, Aria Fawn, whose work is ethereal and wonderful and strange and weird, and I mean, just look at it, it's amazing. And because HFM has always been about learning, you actually get a behind-the-scenes look at how all of this art and some of the stories were made step by step, all in Labyrinth, and you can get pins and prints if you like those, only available during the Kickstarter. If you enjoy my videos, or if you just love amazing fantastical creatures like I do, because that was where it all started, then go get Labyrinth right now. To borrow from Star Wars, we are on the verge of greatness and doing something meaningful. Join the Kickstarter at the link below.
There is always more magic in the world for those willing to open their eyes. Stories of magic, the stars, and fantastical creatures, with authors who know and love so many.
What in the fuck?
This is Labyrinth, Volume 0. Join the Kickstarter now.
Please tell me, you guys. Okay, thank God. I need a place I can recover stamina on. There they are.
Part 2. What does it mean to be human? With 36 streets in the Yeshaman have characters asking whether they are still human and whether that matters at all on their way to becoming a weapon, Violet Evergarden has a weapon discovering what it means to be human for the first time. So it's no wonder that these characters are brilliant vehicles for exploring that theme as they lose and rediscover new parts of themselves. Lynn insists that memory is, quote, pain and weakness, and so part of being human is our softness, our vulnerability to the past. But Nappa also asserts that, quote, without memory, we lose the vitality of our resistance. In other words, memory is both a strength and a weakness for humanity, but is a weakness we should want. In Violet Evergarden, she slowly understands what it means to love, to care, to be alone, and to find company, but it also means facing up to our wrongs and our sins. Quote, you don't realize your body is on fire and burning up because of the things you did. You'll understand one day, and then you'll realize for the first time that you have many burns. In Blade Runner 2049, where Kay is basically designed to be a hitman to kill his own people, he initially believes that being physically born of a woman is what makes you human. But as he emerges from seeing himself as a weapon to being a person, that real discussion is about what it means to remember and feel something authentically. Because he has these fake memories implanted in his head, and yet they're what motivates him. They feel real to him, and, of course, none of us truly remember our past perfectly. All of our feelings, our perception of reality can be manipulated. Does that make us less real? The beautiful irony of these stories is that these characters who are often treated as less than human, treated as tools, are the ones who seem the most human to us. And in fact, narratively, how we see ourselves in these characters can say a lot about how
Motherfucker. I didn't click anything.
seem the most human to us. And in fact, narratively, how we see ourselves in these characters can say a lot about how we understand what it means to be human as well. And you can manipulate that through perspective as the writer. In Blade
A
Runner,
mask
almost every
reminds me of
human
some
character is
a
cynical,
character.
cruel, or detached from reality, while the replicants are driven by hope and wonder and childlike familial
She's so
attachment and
chuny though with it,
self-sacrifice.
for real, for real.
I've
I
seen
love it.
things you people won't believe. It's
Oh yeah,
actually
the electric weapons are actually
I watched
here.
all the scenes, glitter and dark in 10,000 Gate. All those moments will be lost in time. In tears, rain, time. What is more human than wanting to be witnessed before we shuffle off this mortal coil? To be human is to be noticed. In this living weapon story, humanity isn't something we're born with, but something we give each other, and thus something we take from each other, and which these characters have usually been denied. They have not been noticed. Consider how you might address this question as your character descends into becoming a weapon or ascends out of it and becoming human. Is violence an inherent part of human nature? Is pain? These characters might feel liberated from their past, but being human doesn't mean you're free. In what ways are we still controlled by our emotions, by our society, or as Nappa suggests, by our own memory? And is being human even the thing we should aspire to most? Is it even a dilemma to choose between power and humanity? This is also why, narratively, living weapon stories tend to go hand in hand with revenge stories. Characters realizing they've been used, dangerous people of immense power finally choosing something for themselves, a lot of suppressed emotions they may not be able to healthily cope with. The cocktail has to go somewhere, and that desire for freedom and agency can often manifest in them turning on the people who created them, sometimes even replacing them. But there is another side to this thematically, because like becoming a weapon, like power, revenge can be a dehumanizing force. It is something we sacrifice parts of ourselves to, our morality, our free will. Lynn's story is fundamentally one of vengeance, and in 36th Street she believes, quote, vengeance is one's intent. And yet, ironically, we also see how she describes herself as the, quote, instrument of the language of the streets, of violence, the calligrapher's pen. This contradiction is thematically fascinating to me, because in asserting herself against the cosmos, she is utterly subsumed by it. No longer a person, so much as part of the wallpaper of this terrible world. Just as often as these characters can explore what it means to find our humanity, they can explore how giving into our baser instincts makes us less human. Consider how these ideas might play out in your story, this tension between a desire for agency and this attachment to power and maybe vengeance. For someone who might have sidelined their emotions in order to be a weapon, how are they not enslaved to their emotions when they finally open up to them? We spoke before about how a radical shift in circumstances can motivate this kind of change, but a lot of the time that change comes from a Part 3 breaking point. Something in her little head had snapped, undoubtedly caused by all the blood she had spilled. They never should have expected so much from her. They would have to fix her. She carried the memories of what she had done, and there was nothing he could do to help her with that. For a child to have committed such atrocities, there was sure to be permanent damage in her spirit, in her soul. This is from Milo James Fowler's The Last Human Child, a beautiful story about a kid called Dahlia who was molded into the perfect killing machine, a weapon to end an apocalyptic war where humans are dying out as toxic rain renders the species infertile. She slaughters her enemies in this legendarily bloody night, but she also turns on her creators, the humans who made her. She snaps. Everyone else in the story is bewildered. They see this child breaking under the stress and violence, but we get to see what really happened. Because before Dahlia slaughtered everyone, she was kidnapped by a genetically engineered creature working for the enemy called Braunstone, and he, of all people, was kind to her. For a character who had been a weapon or a tool suddenly becoming a friend, an ally, or someone to be cared for radically changes how we can imagine ourselves, and so she snaps. This dynamic is very familiar to a lot of Living Weapon stories. Characters who have been conditioned into their state with a twisted kind of love or affection, a father, a mentor, a mother, and they trick themselves into believing that this person who makes them do all of this has a good reason, that behind it all, they do truly love them, even if they don't fully understand it. They trust it. It's no coincidence, I think, that these stories often explore abusive dynamics, especially within families. Children of abusive or manipulative parents will often reframe their abuse as part of a strange kind of love. A love which nobody else gets, which is rare, precious, and scarce, and only they have earned through what they've done. And so the breaking point for these characters, like Dahlia, is when they kind of have to face that this love that they believed in, that they kind of depended on, isn't real. Not in the way they thought. Because what does that make you? The victim? No. You've been told your whole life about how strong you are. Your strength is how you define yourself. Weakness was purged from you. Dahlia, being with Braunstone, though, shows her what real kindness is. And if that's real kindness, then what was everything she suffered through before at the hands of her creators? What was it for? I killed the elders, and those humans who raised me. I killed all of them. She shook her head, staring into the flickering light. I deserve to be hunted. They should kill me for what I did. Even here we see that reflective desire to take the blame upon themselves, to shoulder the guilt, to believe they deserve the violence, the abuse that they are at the hands of. These are characters who are both powerful and struggle with a feeling of powerlessness, realizing they were even more powerless in their own lives than they thought, that they didn't even have the love of their abusers, that they couldn't even pull on those strings. This can happen slowly or all at once. Obviously, it's more dramatic narratively to have it happen all at once in these violent outbursts, but it can happen slowly, and perhaps that's more complex and interesting, because when that house of cards comes down, you have to go back and recontextualize your past, their actions, and your actions, all that violence you committed, and that's hard. And so it's no surprise the Living Weapon switches sides, because the bad dudes at least treat them better, which itself says something about your good guys. With Dahlia, what was the point of slaughtering all of the elders if the humans weren't the good guys? What's the point of this war? Suddenly, doesn't that make her a murderer? Oftentimes, the moral and emotional architecture that conditioned them to be the weapon is the only thing keeping them from feeling guilty. The snap often takes the plot in an entirely new direction, and can even be the inciting incident which sets the plot in motion, their character arc, their character struggles, the tension that we get to explore. It changes the stakes, and it changes where the tension lies. Not only with them asking who they are now, what they can be, but also setting them in opposition with whoever they killed and whoever they've, in a sense, betrayed. It can shift the focus from maybe completing the mission to vengeance or even switching sides. But the point is, the Living Weapon snapping is a great narrative opportunity which has naturally high personal stakes and plot stakes, especially when they are an object of power within the story. So if you're constructing a moment like this, ask yourself, what would break your character more than anything? What would undermine their most fundamental beliefs about themselves and their understanding of what they've done and the history and the situation that they're in? What would challenge that? Is the weight of that realization too hard to carry, that instead they double down and they really commit to what they're doing? Or do they try to unpack it all? Does it just become a niggling in the back of their mind? That's kind of what happens to Lynn, by the way, the doubling down. She is broken by the world and hardens herself into a weapon rather than face the trauma of her past. And again, a lot of the time the snapping is big and violent and dramatic, but I think One of my favorite examples of a living weapon snapping is actually Shinji from Neon Evangelion Genesis. It's not a bloody massacre. Instead, it's this, I kid you not, still silent shot for an entire minute of Shinji holding Kaworu up in a strangling grip after receiving orders to kill him. This one person who actually showed him what kindness, unconditional love was meant to look like, and it's meant to end him, hesitates for a whole minute before carrying out the order. I actually thought my phone was broken when I first saw this, but I've never seen anything else like it. This moment of kind of just like paralyzing realization, paralyzing fear and brokenness of a person coming undone all at once. It's because of all this, living weapon characters are great avenues to explore what we do for love, for family, for friends, and how easily these things can be weaponized against us, as well as how dangerous it can make people when they are stripped of all of that, of the one thing which might have really sustained them. Sometimes the most powerful choice a living weapon can make, though, is to leave violence behind entirely, this thing which they have defined themselves by and that everyone else has defined them by for their entire life. Perhaps leaving it behind and not engaging with it at all is the only way that they can actually rediscover themselves. In The Last Human Child, this is what she sort of does. It becomes an active rebellion against the world which made her. But these plot beats, especially switching sides, creates a narrative challenge. You know how when you unlock like the bad guy at the end of a game and you get to play as them, but then you do and they've just been nerfed to hell and they're nowhere near as cool? It's not uncommon for a living weapon switching sides to feel a bit like that. You know, you suddenly throw this uber powerful character into the ensemble, and to keep up the tension, writers will like nerf them in some way. It's just less compelling. I've got 2 videos on fight scenes and on overpowered characters, which I think will be really helpful resources for this. Go check those videos out. But to give you some simple ideas here. 1. Give the living weapon characters challenges which counter their strengths, like Violet having to be empathetic when she writes letters. 2. Structure your fight scenes with multiple objectives, which allows several characters to play important roles, and it creates dilemmas during combat, because of course the overpowered character probably can't be everywhere. 3. Using their power might be dangerous in itself, creating a dilemma about whether it's worth the risk getting them involved. All of these are just way more interesting than nerfing. The last kind of living weapon character is the kind who does not realize they are a weapon. Narratively, these characters can become a mystery, with their power slowly unfolding and being a source of tension without them even realizing it. Sometimes we might know that they're powerful as the reader, but the characters around them don't. And if we know that they're dangerous, but others haven't quite seen it yet, we only see their potential for violence maybe, create this sort of sword of Damocles hanging over the head of the story. You know, this potential for violence that we know is going to explode at some point. All of this can make it really satisfying when eventually we do see them unleash their power, embrace it, or realize it. In Firefly and Serenity, it's continuously hinted that River is this incredible deadly weapon created by the Alliance, but it isn't really until the end of the film that we get to see her in full force. Throughout it, we get these hints, where she feels like a bit of a ticking time bomb, so when it finally goes off, it's not only
now
a
permanently
story and
strong.
a plot and kind of like what we're imagining is going on, but we get to see this character as a spectacle. And I say that because, let's be honest, a lot of living weapon characters are spectacles. They're fun to watch. They kill a lot of people. They're lightning quick. It's just a lot of fun to see them, good or bad. It's thrilling, heart-pumping.
The math stays on during sex.
Hero or villain, to see capable characters doing what they're good at. And it can also be devastating when the character, for example, has resisted violence or doesn't want to be violent, has to be violent in order to help their friends, or if they've worked a long time to not be violent, accidentally giving into that. That hurts. You can't take that back, in a sense. And so the question I want to ask you as the writer is a little bit behind that. It's a step behind the violence and the spectacle. How are we meant to feel about watching this? Is it meant to be a spectacle, or is it meant to be sad? Is it horror wrapped up in neon lights? Is it 2 battle axes being wielded by a child soldier? So you've got characters who make themselves into weapons or are made into weapons by others, but then there are characters who do not even realize they are weapons. Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card features a kid trained to be a godlike military commander who is tricked into slaughtering an entire alien race while he believes it to be a simulation. His breaking point, like Shinji, is very quiet. He doesn't spark a vengeful tirade. Instead, he sets out to make amends, and the sequel, Speaker for the Dead, involves a significant subplot of Ender trying to help the last former queen find a new place to live. And when faced with a new alien life form, he seeks to fully understand them and empathize with them before making any rash decisions, to allow himself to play any part in violence against people he doesn't fully understand. Don't just think about the most exciting plot way for the living weapon character to snap, but the most meaningful. Part 4, The Greater Evil. All of this brings us to a constant through line with all of these characters. They almost always exist in the shadow of some other character or organization or even an entire world which created them. The Alliance, the Tyrell
a natural blood
the
moon?
prodigious streets of Hanoi, the Great War, humanity's prejudice. It's impossible for their journey of healing, revenge, or switching sides to not be at least in some way a reflection on what created them. The Alliance's secretive and desperate need for control, the Tyrell Corporation's utter disdain for sentient life, the Chinese government's desire to rewrite history. 36th Street sees Lynn find no real solution, no happy ending, but it feels deeply intentional. Her journey to becoming a weapon is reflective of this violent world she's had to survive in, and of Vietnam's history in particular. See, the book is set in northern Vietnam following its occupation by China, and a lack of moral resolution, the inability to live at peace, is presented as an inherent part of life under occupation. How can she find resolution when Vietnam itself can't? It's still occupied, and the world itself is so caught up in this violence that she inevitably falls towards it. Nappa also uses a fundamental part of her becoming a weapon, that is, erasing her memories and her past, as an analogue for Vietnam suppressing its own traumatic history of resistance. Centuries of fighting the Chinese, the French, the Imperial Japanese, the Americans, suppressing it with patriotic narratives, their own kind of lie. The monstrosity of what was done to our people, the industrial-scale murder, the deployment of technologies which reap grotesque distortions upon bodies and minds and nature itself, hidden, denied, wiped, forgotten. But the final act of forgetting is the most audacious and most necessary. We have to choose to do it. We must sleepwalk into the eternal present, without a past to guide us, without a dream of future to lead us. Only then will we be conquered. Without memory, we lose the vitality of our resistance limb. We lose the strength given to us, transmitted from our past. Like Vietnam, Lin suppression is not an effective way to survive and thrive in this world, merely a way for us to sleepwalk into an eternal present, leaving behind our traumas without really processing them. The greater evil is the bloody and eternal struggle Vietnam finds itself trapped in once more, constantly fighting from out under a new boot and wishing it need not remember all it has lost and suffered. Living weapon characters play with big ideas, identity and trauma and memory and violence and freedom and agency, and all of these apply to a lot of other contexts. Consider whether you want to use them and their journey as some analog or reflection of a greater journey as well. No character exists in a vacuum. They exist in relation to other people, in relation to their setting, as all people do, and as you position your characters in their story, you're naturally going to be building themes. But these characters can also be fun and interesting and complex without some grand heel turn or what does it mean to be human story. Like, Master Chief has a very understated but quite emotive relationship with Cortana, an AI, another constructed being like himself, and something akin to a love story. These stories are often less about pushing back against their conditioning and more about who they can be while still fulfilling their role as a weapon. Like, he never questions that. Part 5. The Chosen One is a weapon. In Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse, Serapio is chosen as the vessel of the Crow God, molded into this chosen one through ritualistic scarring and even blinding, not unlike the physical and mental alterations we've seen in every other story we've discussed today. Serapio and other characters in the story are almost unwillingly caught up in this divine conflict, plucked out of nothing and used as tools in the greater war at hand. Chosen ones are, by nature, forged into weapons by others, by powerful entities, by will and fate and destiny for cosmological conflicts of which they had no real choice in. And yet, these stories are Interestingly, so often focused on the character setting aside their own desires and rising to meet this challenge, to accepting their role as the weapon. What makes Black Sun and other books interesting is how much of Serapio's arc actually comes down to him escaping being this weapon, the cost of letting go of this power, of breaking the chains of destiny and becoming someone else, someone he wants to be. It takes those assumptions that we have about the Chosen One and sort
I
of
changed
turns
it
it
to
on its
low
head.
because
In a world of
honestly,
fallible gods, or even just
it's
a
been a
world
little
of
too much
free-thinking
for me for
humans,
quite
the
a
question
while
of whether
now,
that
and
destiny, whether that power should be invested in a single person, and whether that should override your free
it's
will
more
and your
annoying
right to
than it
live in
is
peace,
interesting
is
and
something we
challenging.
often don't really address in these stories. It's not all that different to the last human child,
You
told
gotta
by the end of
remember,
his
running
war
away is
flight
really
on
easy
the
to
river
do
in
in this game.
Serenity that she would keep the Alliance safe.
Dude, I'm dead. There goes all my yellow stamina. I desperately require money. I'm probably fine just buying the pants and upgrading it to 3. I probably should have collected the armored porgies and carps as well so I could... Getting our chest plate to 3 would be very good. It's gonna have to be a lot done. A lot of murder to be precise. Alright, the pants is 400. We can get it right now. Correction. I can't. Let's just unlock the teleport and we should be collecting our things. Right, we're powerful. But here's how we're gonna be making money. Murder. You'd think by now I'd memorize the solution to this, but I'm actually the best. I wanna trade off my meteor rod and then let's get an ice weapon. Let's go take the trek through Gerudo. Cause I know Beetle's gonna have the ice weapons there for sure.
Yeah! Sa!
Spear's probably gonna be the most convenient weapon to, since it has the most durability.
Yay!
Claymores are tempting considering what you can do with fire and claymores, but let's try killing the Lionels in this road. Yeah, double axe. Not like there's a limit to my teleports, but you know, I want to be efficient. I should probably try to upgrade my defenses first. Wow, lucky. Yeah, you know, let's go collect those fishies. Or... just launch ourselves, shall we? Or not. I can find lots of the porgies in the Ganondorf kills Sonia cutscene beach. That's what I'm calling it now. It always looked like the sword. So I used to call it Sword or Scimitar Beach. But after that Ganondorf scene, how can I not call it anything other than... Not sure if there's any value in unlocking Kilton at the moment. I'm not doing anything about it. Oh, I guess another fitting term for this beach would be... I've never seen you before. The place where everyone tests out their Geneva Convention destroying war machines. Isn't the desert also hot? You sure? There's a boat and Korok leaves. Don't underestimate them. Yeah, over by that shoreline. Honestly, just cooking shit to resist the weather should probably be something that I take the time to cook. As nice as it is that you can buy weapons, it does suck quite a lot that taste my drill shaft. A ruby. Chaloob. I have so many of these. I can't just do bomb fishing because if I do that, I might accidentally cook the fishies. There they are. but they're pretty good. Now for the carps. It appears there's a bunch of them in Hateno. Makes life easier. There's nowhere to submerge to.
Ôi.
Are you laughing like a fucking... Or are you laughing like a Korok? It's not for a very long time, though. You can get the upgrade, so...
Yeah! Yeah! Ooh! Whoa!
What?
Eh? Ah! Ah!
Oh man, I wanted the dialogue where she's like, "Go get clothes." I'm sure even someone who loves being naked like you's gonna enjoy being here.
Ah!
Motherfucker. I thought it was only 5.
Ah! Ma!
Drop it in my arms. Hey, that bump is shaped like a deer. I want you die, you'll go 100 miles in an hour. Little do you know, I filled up on gas. While your mom gets so bound to make you nest.
Hi. Mmm. Ah.
Breaking boxes, of course. Also, I completely forgot this place is home to the money-making game. Let's go gambling!
Ah. Ah. Ah.
50.
Oh.
Right. Chest is always right. I won nothing.
Oh.
Again.
Ah.
Shut up. Let me pick my chest.
Ah.
Ah.
I agree. You're so based for that, lady. Who likes rain? In what universe would there be such a person who exists? That doesn't find the idea of rain to be utterly deplorable. Dude, I can't headshot. Have I actually been playing in low frequency spawns this entire time? Ooh, white people. Good thing I like going overkill.
Is it possible to mathematically calculate the fewest number of items of clothing you'll have to own so you never repeat an outfit for an entire year? Well, you can. And I have. Which is why for this video, we put in the effort. I keep a long list of video ideas. Not so long. But on that list, when I was flicking through the other day, was just a Reddit URL. So I followed that, and it was a post on the math subreddit that the mods had since removed, and the original poster had deleted it, and then deleted their account. So there wasn't much left for me to work out why I'd saved that URL, but looking at the comments that survived, it seems the original poster was asking how many items of clothing would they need to own so across the course of a year they would never repeat an outfit by providing those bits of clothing. At least that's what I choose to believe it said, because that's the mathematically interesting question. Now, my first mathematical thought was regret. Maths regret. That I'm no longer a high school maths teacher. Because when I came across this, when I was teaching in a school, I absolutely would have got 31 ties and numbered them on the back and worn them in the same order every month, and then had 12 shirts and worn them. Okay, washing, let's not worry about that, but I would have worn a different shirt per month, and then I would have had a unique outfit for every single school day, and I would have found that so funny. And I now miss being a teacher, just a little. It's a great career. And I was like, that would be hilarious. But actually, that would have been inefficient, because 31 ties times 12 shirts is 372 possible combinations. Can we be more efficient? We'll break down the case for exactly 365 outfits. 365 is not a prime number. It is 73 times 5. They're both prime numbers. That's as far as you can break it down. So you would need to own 73 of something, maybe shirts, and then 5 of something else. So if you don't wear ties, it's fine. That would be like 5 trousers. You can choose your own categories. And that would be exactly 365 outfits. Leap years though, they're 366 days. So I guess your options are to either go full 366. So that would be 2 times 3 times 61. So 2 trousers, 3 shirts, 61 hats. And that will cover you. And there's an outfit that only comes out once a year. Or you stick with 365. Once every 4 years, go naked. That said, for all of these categories, there is the null whatever. And some categories do and don't lend themselves to that. Particularly if you're a maths teacher, you could probably get away with the null tie. Maybe a null hat. It's probably about it. The point is, choosing to not wear something is also an option. So, we're splitting numbers into their prime factors, and then you've got to have categories that have as many options as each of those prime values, and you might choose one of those options, just not wearing that thing. Right. Let's talk about efficiency. Here's the thing, we don't care about how many outfits. As long as we've got enough to cover a year. Surplus, that's fine. We care about the fewest number of items of clothing. And the 365 one, that's 78 items of clothing, if you add up all the prime factors. And for 366, that's actually better. That's come down to 66 items of clothing. Although, the hilarious 31 ties, 12 shirts, that's a mere 43 items of clothing. So actually, by overshooting the number of combinations, we can reduce, potentially dramatically, the number of items of clothing. What we'll need to do is just sum the prime factors for all the numbers bigger than 366 and see what's the smallest, which I did. And I put them all in a spreadsheet. First of all, over here I plotted what this looks like as you increase the number of outfits, and you can see the primes. There's just these spikes at the top, and there's no rhyme or reason to them. They're primes, classic primes, and even the in-between ones, not much of a pattern because it's prime factors like primes to buy nice, neat patterns. So the easiest answer here is just to sort. You know what? I'm going to select everything. Sort by number of items. Call it the largest. Here we go. 17. You're not going to beat 17. In fact, there are 4 different ways you can do 17. That's pretty sweet. So, oh my gosh, you can just have 2 in like 7 categories and then 3 in 1. Or you could have fewer categories. Here, maybe you want to minimize categories because you can do 17. You can get 405 outfits. There's only 5 categories. 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 by 5. That would do it. So we kind of want to maximize outfits, although as long as it's more than a year, we're satisfied the conditions. We want to minimize items. But we also want to minimize the number of categories, because then you've got fewer different things you've got to change in your outfit every day. Although, do we want to minimize the biggest number in one of the categories? Because if you're going to have a few more items, you put it down here, do a 5 by 7 by 11, that's only 23, and you've only got to vary 3 different categories. But 11 is one category. Oh, wait a minute. We've just reached the end of maths. Beginning of shopping. I will of course link to the spreadsheet in the description below if you want to have a look at the numbers for yourself. However, I think I can't carry on this analysis any further without actually going shopping. I've got to discover what are the practicalities of buying clothing in different categories that can then be swapped to get a certain number of outfits. Hey, you know what's even easier to change than your outfits? It's me, Businessman. And that picture up there is from Display. So easy to change. In fact, regular Matt, can you go grab the other ones? Great. Now, Display, those things, held up by magnets. Yes, thanks to Display's tool-free, safe for walls, quick swapping magnet system, you can easily switch between the over 2 million different artworks available on their unique metal canvases. Now, if you can't find the designs you want, they do have a custom display option for your own artwork, but we were easily able to find multiple displays that we wanted here at Stand Up Maps. It was
Yeah, I want to reduce the health of the bosses.
And Alex, pick this.
This is ridiculous.
And which one did I get? Oh, thanks, regular Matt. He's standing right there.
I'm all for forcing resources to be used up, but this is not just wasting resources, this is wasting time.
43% off, and
Most valuable resource.
40% off. That's basically half of them free. Rounded to the nearest whole metal plate. If you use the code STANDUP, or the link in the description, I imagine there's a QR code on the screen somewhere. And that discount includes the Textra plates. Those are plates with an extra 3D effect that really makes them pop. So please do check out this plate. Use code STANDUP for a tiered structure of discounts. And thank you so much to this plate for sponsoring this video. Okay, and can we get the original? Thank you. And well, I'm gonna have to hit the actual high street and see what clothes cost. So let's go shopping now. While we have no idea who the person is, we can use me as a substitute, and we don't know where they would have bought clothes. So I figure I'll go to Oxford Street. It's one of the most iconic shopping districts for clothes in the world, definitely in the UK. I'm gonna spend as little money as possible within my fashion and ethical limitations. So I can work with outfits. I realized pretty quickly, once you're dealing with a serious item of clothing in like a hoodie or something, you're not getting that for under £30. And if you want a shirt or trousers, that's definitely over £50 for a nice one. You're touching 100 quid, so if I strayed into too many categories and to get bold or something, I'm going to blow the budget real fast. And I found the sock loophole. Pack of 5 socks from John Lewis, £15. That's 3 quid each. Oh, but does that count? Socks? Either way, it's I'm the winner. As long as I can still make it count as a proper outfit. Okay, so you may have seen this coming. I've instantly run into the problem of style. So I could just, to my classic kind of core look, I could shop for my everyday wear, or I could try and shop dress like a math teacher, what I mainly want to do is not just spend money unnecessarily. So I'm either going to buy things I would wear, or I'll buy stuff that I figure I can sell on eBay afterwards for charity. So if you're shopping for the math teacher in your life, keep an eye out. Okay, I'm getting that teacher hater here with, come on, ties. Look at this. So, I could easily rack up, as many of them. I could do, so the 1175, we're talking 23 items, only 3 categories. So I could pick the cheap categories. I could stock up on ties, I could maybe socks. 25
Especially since I have these randomized in the overworld.
It's a lot in the one category though. Before I can get down to the 555 3.
Ain't no way.
We're talking 375 outfits. But now I gotta find like 4 different categories. It'd be like 5 ties, 5 shirts, 5 socks. Socks feel like so cheap. 3 trousers? I don't know. We'll see. I feel like there's fewer categories, but I need a lot of them. Category, or more categories, you're in each one. I mean, the one thing that's still up to debate is I'm buying that tie. And at least 2 of these. Okay, in the end I've gone full maths teacher. So, I only got 5 ties. And I could have got them as cheap as £10 each, but I went for ones that I feel have more visual difference and more likely for people to buy them when the video is done. They average me £12, and I think like 40 pence each. Again, we got that down. And then I went for shirts, and the multi-pack shirts were the ticket. They came down to £18.20 each for 5 shirts. I think the idea of changing categories, instead of doing 17 of the same category, the fact that I paid basically the same for the shirts and the ties, but because I switched categories, combinations go up. So I think in the end that's the right decision. Now I am going to cheat and go for the sock loophole. I'm going to get the 5 socks for £3 each. Come on, cost down. And then finally hats. I mean, I genuinely need. I'm already wearing the null hat. I'm going to allow that, and I genuinely need 2 new hats. They're for me. So that's the plan. Total will appear on the screen in a second. I now own enough items of clothing to wear 375 different outfits. Because I can't put on 375 outfits in one YouTube video. I need to do that. It would take a whole day. I need to hire a studio so I can do an elaborate stop motion catwalk sequence. Which, of course, we've done. Here are all 375 outfits. Ran out of time. Literally got kicked out of the studio. You think 4 hours is enough? But no. So, I mean, I was going to catch more, like a whole final routine. The only thing we can do now, I guess, is just keep going as planned here in the office. So I'm going to do that. Brings my 2 days of my life. 25 outfits. Although if I'm back with this one, I saw it when I reviewed the footage. If you can find it, the comments below would be very impressed. So, in conclusion, the fewest number of items you can own in a number beaten outfit for a year is 9. Because if you go back to the 384 solution, which is the one with the closed categories for only 17 items, there's different categories. If you put a null in every single category, you've got 7 binary, you either wear it or you don't. And then you've got a single 3, so that's 2 items in the null. So there you are, 9. Although actually, you get 512 outfits out of 9 items. Because if you just have 9 binary categories, you wear it or you don't. If you can find 9 categories of clothing where it's acceptable to just not wear it. You can't own other items, don't forget. I think you can, I don't know. Anyway, 512 through the 9. There you are, 9 items. That's the absolute minimum. Although practically, as I discovered, because not all categories of clothing cost the same, you want to also balance off minimizing the number of categories. So you're not, once you're buying trousers and jackets, it's expensive. So I would say, in reality, 17 or 18 items. Although, if you want to go your entire life, never wearing the same outfit twice, 29 items. Yeah, 29 items. You got 9 categories with 3 each, single 2 item category, and that will give you 39,366 individual outfits. That's over 107 years. I mean, you'll have to pick a size, commit to it for life, and as they wear out, you can replace them? No, I don't know. I don't know the rules. Anyway, combinatorics, hey? Woo! Things explode real quick. 29 items for a lifetime, over a century of clothes. There you are. That's basically it. Thanks so much for watching. If you do want any of the clothes from this video, imagine buying one of these. Be a maths teacher. Now there's a Christmas gift, or you, if you are a maths teacher. I will sell, these will all be on eBay. All the money goes to WaterAid or for charity. I'll put up all the socks as well, and the shirts. I will wash them all. That's not, go get weird. And you can buy them for yourself or for the math teacher in your life on Patreon. I'll give you the behind the scenes. Yes, we could have done the stop motion better. I automated it with terrible microphone. The behind the scenes on Patreon, because if things have no educational value, I don't mind putting them on Patreon. And the fine Patreon people support these videos, so the content's out there for everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Christmas shopping for your new, incredibly official wardrobe.
That was a lot of weapons we chewed through. Is it in combat system or in options? I would like to get my skills up higher, better. Classmaker better have a way for me to lower the numbers then, because this is this is disgusting. Okay, I can go for Hyrule Rebalance life changes. Let's go for 1.5. Oh my god, yes, reduce the lives of the Wizrobes. Oh, maybe if I choose for overhaul rather than vanilla. that'll change some values. Because overhaul is supposed to be like rebalanced.
Jesus Christ. YouTube! Macedo means. Macedo means memes? Okay. Not off to a good start today. I have been alerted to the fact that this is a terrible week, an extra terrible week, which is saying something. Not often do we get a terrible, terrible week, but this is an extra terrible week. Lock in, ladies and gentlemen. How many invincible memes? How many invincible? Is it rank 1? Just tell me if it's rank 1. I'm gonna die if it's rank 1. First meme, dude. I want to say, listen. A lot of people they watch these videos. They hate watch them. They don't actually like Farfa. They're just here to complain about how bad the Masters of subreddit is and blame me for ruining this up. I just want to say I've never taken responsibility for that, encouraged or condoned. But this one's kind of my fault. This one is kind of my fault. It's too much. I haven't even looked at what it is. He's just gonna say low. That's it. There's nothing funny about this. It's literally just gonna be low, and that's it. No effort. He could put like Skull Guardian's helmet on himself. He couldn't Photoshop like some funny barrier in the back. That's it. That's the entire joke. Rank 1, by the way. Rank 1. Low. 1500. Lo and behold. The most powerful monster at all events, according to Konami, she is always banned. Yeah, well, that's because you don't need any of the extra deck to play Voiceless Voice, and usually the events are themed around extra deck cards. It's a silly punchline that won't stop me from laughing. Novox looking 30 years younger, I don't know what that means. Farfa will laugh at this. God damn it. People keep finding ways to put a spin on the template. You guys keep getting away with this. I'm not going to post this one because it's bad, so here you go.
Why?
Lock. Wait, is that Samolo? Oh, wait, no. What? Why'd someone say so? I got baited. Oh my lord, dude. They're so good. They're just so good. Lock. Okay, alright. Speaking of lock in, alright? We're not gonna fall for any of this like stupid childish nonsense anymore. We're just gonna relax, chill, embrace that this is going to be one
I
of the
would
better
like
weeks.
to
Now that
insta-kill
we've got this
enemies
one out of
with
the way,
ancient arrows.
all smooth sailing and a fun ride from this point onwards. Would you still love her even if she is a stun player? Labyrinth with anti-spell. I swear this kind of looks AI generated. I'm on a date. What do I do? She's so cute and I'm nervous.
Oh no.
How many? How many is there? How many is there? Guys, seriously, how many is there? Alright. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Alright, I'm gonna get through this one. That's good. That's good. That is very good. Man, I was prepared for just ball or something. This is good. It's actually well made. Good idea, buddy. So the exact chant is eagle head, eagle, rhino, bird, dog, dog head, ball. That's the OG Egyptian translated chant. I have the Rosetta Stone. I am an expert, actually. That's how I know that. Okay. There's no way! There's no way! Ha, dude! What? Are you kidding me? 1, 2, 3 minimum? There's just no shot. Dude, Invincible last season ended like 8 months ago. Who is responsible for this, man? Alright. There's no way you can top this, alright? This is the peak this week. This one
You
isn't
know
even
what?
that
I
good.
feel like I'm gonna
Literally,
regret
the
hard
reason I
math
actually laughed at
Koshia,
this is just because it was final
considering
one.
what this
Like, literal
mod's
top of the
idea
week.
of
That's the only
difficulty
reason I
is.
laughed.
I'm
Okay?
willing to give the
This
other
one,
ones a try,
come on,
but Monk
it can't
Math
be good.
Koshia,
Cal. Nah. Come on, man. We're trying too hard at this point. We really are. We're trying too hard. We're trying too hard. An observation. Did all the work? Fire. Aura farmers. Is this like a lore thing? Because gameplay-wise, Theslos is one of the, like, not the worst, but he's like the 4th best monarch. Like, what? Theslos did the fire? Oh, as in like the fire. Okay. But is that work? Is making a destructive fire that kills everyone work? I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know what the monarch story is. Maybe they're just land grabbing genociders. Who knows? Perhaps that is actually their job, and creating obnoxious scorched earth strategy, military tactics is part of the lore. Maybe that's what they need to do. Anyway, rest here, weary duelists. You have seen too much invincible meme templates. You know, it's crazy that the meme review this week is cannibalizing itself and becoming its own amalgamation of a self-aware sentient being that it is like physically alive. That's actually incredible. This might be the worst week in some type of respect if you think about it. Four in what? Come on, man. There's no way. There's no way. All right, listen. We've how it's not better. It's not. It can't be. It can't be. All right, here we go. All right, what do we have?
I'm sure it doesn't
upside down
matter.
paper.
Let's just go alphabetic.
Lol, they need to mimi on our power. Oh, they need to mimi on. Oh, I see. Right. It's like, oh, yeah, the bubbles. It's the whole column is being okay. You know what? That's actually
Imperm
kind of clever.
column. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's actually kind of clever.
Unfortunately,
I
it's
don't
too
hate it.
clever for its own good, so it's not funny.
Good job.
Because by the
job.
time you get
Well
it,
done,
you're...
deleted user. Wait, what happened? Wait, did he get banned? What? What? Wait, no, is that actually just his name? Oh, no, I think it's just his name. No, he's not actually banned. Okay. Hard FY can't read. Oh, they need to mimi on our power. See, I thought it was a sex joke. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't want to say it out loud in case I came across as too much of a weirdo. But mimi on our power, I thought it was being like, you know, brains rotted. Sorry, too much internet. I see where the Saints decided to settle. Uppies! Who wants uppies? Yay, uppies! This is the go-to word for kids, man. I don't make the rules. That's
Why
just how it is.
uppies?
Noah wants to get picked up. It's uppie, uppies.
I miss uppies.
Dude, every other meme is an invincible template. This is number 5. There's 5 invincible memes. Mastodon memes that made me invincible. Seriously? Meme man. Okay, what do we got here? I know what it's gonna be. I just know what it's gonna be. Will he execute it well, though? Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power. Yeah. The Lenitus fuse away the board. I saw it come in, and you didn't execute it well. That's the problem. I think this is really funny in concept. I can kind of imagine this being good. You didn't really have the execution.
I need to do my dailies.
The joke was there. I think the premise is funny, but there's nothing else in this song. It's just it's broken. It's broken. It's actually broken. The website is done. It's what is happening today. You did this. Why did I do? How did I do this? I don't know what I've done. Like I just Oh, God. Alright, what is this one? Is this one gonna be good? Hey, Trunate. Hey. They're short, sweet, and simple. It's perfect, you know? Hey. Hey. That's the last one, right? Was that 5 or 6? Hold on. Which number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I should do my dailies. Let me do them real
There's
quick.
no way. There can't be more. 6, 7? 6, 7? Are we gonna get one more? Yu-Gi-Oh! Lore. Wait, am I playing this like 5 times? Yu-Gi-Oh! Lore. Ah! What is. Oh, it's like. Embed doesn't like naturally. Okay, whatever. Yu-Gi-Oh! Gameplay. I like the idea.
Why are you using the default theme? The default
Yeah.
fields theme.
Did you see it? Did you? Oh! Baby! Baby! Farbin verbal. I got you, dude. I got you. I spotted. Alright, speaking of speed on Twitter, drew like a dark, fucked up version of Big Piece Golem. Haha. Just a glimpse into my dark reality. A full stare into my twisted perspective would make most simply go insane. Wow. Isn't the original tweet of this like some guy who just does like a really bad drawing of like the Joker or something? And he's being completely serious. That's very funny. It's actually really good. If you know what the OG meme of this is, it's genuinely incredible. It's actually super good. This is the new support. It's not Macedo. It's the one that was just revealed like last week. Those cards look actually really sick, by the way. King of Speed. Alright. When your opponent's 20-minute combo doesn't end on a spell trap negate, finally, battle end. I do quite like the whole blotting out the subtitle stuff. Like that's kind of like the meta for the jokes that I've been enjoying recently for whatever reason.
The meta. Yeah, people in Master Duel memes are fucking meta gaming.
Evenly matched in like months, dude. Like I don't know, man.
For
I'm
Farfa
all the way to
specifically.
rated mode this season, and I have not seen a single evenly matched. You know, it's an 8-year-old card that's kind of been in and out of the format, and it's not really like that relevant in Macedo, or ever has been that relevant in Macedo, and it's just like, you know, I don't really. Alright, how it feels to play a deck with less than 12 one-card starters and 15 hand traps. Yeah, no, I mean, gotta love to see it. 40 cards, 2020, 18 starters, 22 hand traps.
I don't wanna play
thereabouts, you know? That's just welcome to modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, this looks amazing. Get out of here with that meta bullshit. How about you go fuck yourself? Do you know what the
Hot Istiano, I finally get it. Oh my god.
Like convergence of ideas
like hot espresso.
but at least like the whole origin of, you know, go fuck yourself was one of the first local shops I went to. There was this guy who would be like, you know, being really animated, and he was like trying to be like all anime and doing all those gestures and voice lines, and he was playing go, and he was like, I'm gonna summon my Gaga magician. You know, he's actually trying to be one of those people at locals, and it was kind of funny. It was sort of endearing. And then he goes. Eventually, one of my friends just like snapped at the time because he was like really loud and stuff. And then he goes, I summon my go golem. And then my friend in like a thick Scottish accent goes, why don't you go fuck yourself? And it was just, you know, it was absolute cinema. You know, it kind of had to be there.
Feel free to take the time to
Yeah, that's where the origin. I'm sure someone else probably came up with the concept of go fuck yourself. I mean, it naturally just makes sense, but if you ever wanted a little tangent side story of where I got it from, that's the origin story from my perspective. Alright, anyway, Slurper6969, so obviously you can understand the type of memes this guy makes. You guys keep telling me to read the caption. Yeah, I know. Go, gaga, bonga. Yeah, yeah, very funny. It's funny. 7. There's 7. There are 7 invincible memes in one single week. It is broken. This website is rotten. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Kai Senat, Cotton Candy, Boo Boo, Dee Doo. Melfi staring contest. Like, it's just the Banker Soul one with a different card, but it's still good. Look. Do you know? Okay, wait. I actually have a better idea. You know what? I have a better version of this. Melfi staring contest, and then that's it. That's the meme. There's no subtitles. Right? Just imagine this without any text, and it's just him looking at dude, that would go hard. That would go. I don't have the Photoshop skills right now to produce it, but imagine.
What do you mean?
All right. Dual
You
triangle
fucking
gives
make
the illusion of
you
choice.
fucking
Future.
make
Albums.
these stupid memes to prove a point and fucking
Pixie,
MS Paint
girl.
all the time.
I don't think this guy knows what illusion of choice means. These are different decks that are different choices. What does he think illusion of choice means? Choice means. You and I choose. Yeah, I guess the illusion of choice is when
accidentally
there's a meta
misspoke
deck, I guess.
memes as mean
I
and
think that's probably
mean
yeah.
as memes.
Ultimately, if you boil this down, this one just kind of the crux of this joke here is meta bad, really, if you think about it.
Yep.
Oh my god, what is going on here? Look, a fraction of our power. Look, a fraction of our power. Look, a fraction of our power. It's good. It's good. It's good. One at a time reveal. Look, 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 look. There it is. Alright, this is creative, okay?
Exodia
It's not just,
obliterate.
you know, look and a Yu-Gi-Oh card that says stare. This is, you put some thought into this. It's practical, it's relatable. We got the animation that you see once in every, like, 20 duels or something. Yeah, good shit, dude. Good shit. Ellie, well, I'm surprised this one isn't higher rated, honestly. Alright, so what are we at? 8? There's 8? 8 invincible memes in 1 week. Good lord. Occupational crossroads for working with demons. I don't know why people keep pushing this, like, oh, they're actually the Fiendsmiths. Like, who? In the kitchen as weapons, working with demons. Something about the Nouvelles just piss me off. Like, I just hate that deck. Like, I don't know what it is. I hate that deck. Light Fiends? Yeah, I know, but, like, the whole thing that people are trying to suggest is, like, they're actually, like, alternate reality of the same... Yeah, okay. Anyway. Go Gage posting.
Hey, it's Gigaplant.
Gigaplant? And is that a Sylvan? It's too late. I've already depicted you as the crying soybean and myself as the Gigaplant. Good little socio-political commentary on the social media memes we've seen going around in recent weeks. Very good. I do like it. Alright, that's a wrap. Ladies and gentlemen, a new world record. I don't think there has ever been a single week of Masadu or Masadu meme review that has had the exact same template repeated this many times. That is legitimately impressive. That is impressive. I think what's more impressive about it isn't that like people fought to make as many invincible memes as possible. It's the fact that they made this many memes and then they all got upvoted. Like, I thought maybe there would be, like, a delegation of the R Macedo subreddit that would all just downvote all of them out of, like, pure raw principle and, you know, moral, as a moral stand, but no, people are enjoying the Invincible memes, somehow. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Did Peeps and Danny do something with them last week? I'm not sure what the joke is. Alright. 200. Can you believe it? That soon enough the series will be older than the average Farco viewer? Dev guy, we enjoy such cultural beneficiary landmark
I got pissed.
forms of art as the Invincible memes. It really is 200, wow.